Hey, what is up, football fans? Colt Schroeder here, aka the Buffalo Nerd, coming at you live from the Buffalo Nerd Football Hub with the Week 6 NFL Best Bets. Last week, 3-1 again. That makes 2 weeks in a row of hitting 3-1, 2-2 the week prior. So we're on a nice little stretch here right now. So I got some good bets for you to look at this week, some games that I'm going to be putting my money on. If you choose to join me, I hope you do, because we've been slinging some winners lately. So let's continue down that. Let's move right into Week 6. First game out the gate, for any of you that have been checking out the player props and all that kind of stuff, I got Baltimore -5.5 versus the New York Giants. I know the New York Giants are playing good football. They're doing well. But for me right now, I watched what happened in Baltimore. They take a tough loss to Buffalo. They come back out last week. They get a much needed home win. They've been struggling to get wins at home. They now get an opportunity to get out on the road with some momentum. I think the defense took a real step last week after they took that loss to Buffalo. In the previous week, they kind of got called out for, how poorly they played. So I think that you saw last week they came out and they kind of turned more into that Baltimore defense. They had that chip on their shoulder, that attitude back out there. I don't think Daniel Jones and the New York Giants have enough playmakers at this point. I think if you get after Barkley and you really try to make Daniel beat you, and you're in this situation this week where your defense is looking good, your offense is not quite there yet, but I think this is a good opportunity against a weaker opponent in the New York Giants defense. So I'm going to roll with Baltimore -5.5. I think they're clearly the better football team, and it'll show in this game. Next one up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take San Francisco. I've been riding with them lately. This will make 3 weeks in a row. I don't see any reason not to continue to back this football team. I understand they're traveling back across the country again here, playing against Atlanta. Atlanta's covered all games this year so far against the spread, so they're playing teams tighter than what they would. But when I'm getting San Francisco -4.5, they're a way better football team. I think their offense is just continuing to get better. But most importantly, I don't think that Atlanta is going to be doing anything against this defense. San Francisco's defense is really starting to get back into that rhythm. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to side with a team that I think is better. They've proven they can travel on the road. This is a Kyle Shanahan going back to Atlanta, kind of homecoming, even though it's been some years now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll with San Francisco -4.5 against Atlanta. This one pains me a little bit because everybody knows that, I'm a pretty good massive Bills fan out there, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Miami +3 versus the Minnesota Vikings this week. Got Minnesota traveling down to Miami. Minnesota typically does not travel well. Kirk Cousins finds ways to really struggle when he's on the road. This team has not looked great. I understand that they're winning football games and their overall record is good, but they haven't looked any kind of sort of dominant. And so they're going to be going up against a Miami football team who's rolling out, a quarterback that nobody really knows much about. I'm kind of a fan of that. I've said that a little while ago when the Bills were getting ready to play Kenny Pickett. You don't necessarily know what you're going to get or what they're going to try to do. So that can actually confuse you and make it rougher for you. But I like the situation this week of the Vikings traveling down to Miami. Miami cannot afford to continue to slide with the Bills playing as well as they are. So I think you're going to get everything that Miami has for you, potential for some weather. I think there's just a really good opportunity if Xavier Howard can kind of shut down Justin Jefferson and you make the Vikings win with the rest of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just take Miami at home plus the 3 versus the Vikings this week. Now, this last one, we're moving to Monday Night Football, and I'm going to take the Denver Broncos +4.5 points against the LA Chargers. For me, I say this a lot of you watch what I'm up to over here. Division games are always tight. The Chargers have not looked good. They have not played good football. Denver has looked awful on offense, but their defense has been very good. And I think that this feels very difficult for me to believe that the Chargers are going to find their way on a team that's getting an extra day to rest and prepare for them, and the Denver Broncos, who have been playing very good defense. Now, the offensive side of the ball is completely struggled, but the Chargers defense has not been good. And I think that we might see this week, especially in the division game, Russell Wilson gets his legs under him a little bit. He had the thing with the shoulder done earlier here in the week. I think we're going to see things open up a little bit this week, and I don't see a way for the Chargers to get over a field goal separation in this game at minimum. I actually think that the Denver Broncos will probably win this football game when it's all said and done. I just think that their defense is very, very good, and the Chargers have not shown me very much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay down Denver +4.5 on Monday Night Football. So again, for this week, week 6, we got Baltimore -5.5 against the New York Giants, taking San Francisco -4.5 against the Atlanta Falcons, going with the Miami Dolphins +3 against the Minnesota Vikings, and then closing it out with the Denver Broncos +4.5 against the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football. That's going to do it for this week's week 6 NFL best bets. We've been having some fun over here doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Make sure you're commenting down below, subscribing, giving me a follow, all that good stuff. Enjoy your weekend, folks.